Hi everyone, my name is Reginald. Thank you so much for tuning in to Clever with Cash. If you aren't already subscribed to me, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you find this video helpful, I would definitely appreciate if you hit the like button. Many of my videos will be about my debt-free journey and also personal finance and budgeting. I am not a financial expert by any means. However, I do have firsthand experience with what to do and what not to do as far as finance goes. I am still learning. Being on this debt-free journey, I'm learning about personal finance. And as I'm learning, I'm going to be sharing my experiences with everyone. Today I'm going to be reviewing side hustles that I did while I was paying off debt. I paid off $48,000 in debt in 38 months. For some people, they may think that that's a long time. For some people, they may think that that's a little time. So some side hustles that helped me to accelerate paying off debt and also just getting ahead when it comes to money are, the first side hustle I did was tutoring. So I had opened up my own tutoring business back in, I think 2017, and I named it after my dog, Goliath Learning Center. And I have tutored clients through my tutoring business. I have not recently been tutoring clients because I've been getting very exhausted with tutoring, but it's a great way tutoring is a great side hustle because you get to set your own rate and you're working for yourself. The downside to tutoring for your own company is that you have to seek out clients. You also have to take care of, the notes and assessments. You also must take care of quarterly taxes for the state. I also tutor for other companies. One company that I tutored for is Frog Tutoring. I absolutely love tutoring for them, and I tutored many different kinds of clients. I tutored one student he wasn't a student anymore, but it was an adult, and I tutored him to prepare for his GED exam, and he did the two sections that I did tutor him for. He passed, and I definitely don't think that I'm just this amazing tutor. I think that sometimes people need someone to just walk alongside of them when it comes to tutoring. I tutored for other companies, but I didn't make as much money, and I won't say the name of those tutoring companies. I did tutor for a local tutoring company as well, and they pay fairly well. I tutored for a very, very popular tutoring company, which I won't say the name because I don't want to trash them, but they do not pay their tutors very well. However, they charge so much for tuition. So I definitely recommend tutoring for a company that pays more or tutoring for yourself if you're going to choose tutoring. My rates were between $30 and $45 an hour for my personal tutoring company. Some people charge more, some people charge less, depending on what your specialty is, of course. So if you're very well versed in, let's say, calculus, you're able to charge a whole lot more than someone that is teaching like elementary school English, because that's a more generalized subject field. Another side hustle I worked was delivering food. This is probably one of my favorite side hustles, believe it or not. During the day, I work with people all day. I work with kids in big groups and in small groups. And I also work with adults, and by the end of the day, I'm very exhausted. I'm very much introverted, and I get my energy from being by myself. So food delivery was an energizing side hustle because most of the time you're working by yourself. So I'm in my car listening to my music, my podcast. I get to drive and go at my own pace, and you get to accept and decline orders as needed. I have delivered for Uber Eats, not very often, which Uber Eats is pretty cool. You get a lot of orders like consistently because that's one of the most popular ones. I deliver for DoorDash, but mostly I deliver for Grubhub. I really enjoy delivering for Grubhub because you do get a block, and then if you complete your block and accept a certain amount of orders within that block, you do get a minimum pay. And so I do appreciate that minimum pay of $10 an hour. No, that's not all the money in the world, but it's definitely great for those slow days, because there are some days where I would get maybe one order. And if I were to do maybe another company like Uber Eats, where they don't do blocks, I wouldn't have gotten paid anything for just, sitting around. I did food delivery for other companies, but that's the most prevalent one was Grubhub, and I really enjoyed working with them. Another side hustle I did was Census Bureau. When it comes to Census Bureau, the pay was really good. They pay like $25 an hour, and you get to set your own hours. So similar to other side hustles, you can pick up shifts through an app, and they give you a cell phone. They give you your bag. They give you your forms that you go to fill out the census with people. You go from door to door, and you basically use your phone that they give you to record the census. I did like Census because you get to work in your neighborhood, so wherever you live. And I, at the time, lived in an apartment, so many of my work was completed in my apartment complex. And I enjoyed it because during the day I was working from home. Because of COVID, I was teaching from home, and I was very much, tired of being at home. So it was a great way for me to get out the house and just walk around and also make money at the same time. The only thing I did not like about the Census Bureau is that it is so hot. Very, very hot, especially if you live somewhere like here. And I did this side hustle in the fall, like the end of summer / fall. And in Houston, Texas, it's hot most of the time. There's a butterfly outside the window, and I've been so obsessed with butterflies lately. I have different plants that attract them. So I have like a dill plant that attracts the black swallowtail. And so I'm obsessed with that caterpillar. I have a couple milkweed that attracts the monarch butterfly. And then I recently got a passion vine. And right now I have some Gulf fritillary. I cannot pronounce it. Fritillary. I think that's how you pronounce it. That butterfly. So it kind of looks like a monarch butterfly. Sort of. My next side hustle was valet driving. If you can see my facial expression, you will see exactly how I feel about valet driving. But it did give me a new appreciation for valet. So I always make sure that you always make sure that you tip valet drivers the job. You're standing up, you have to run. Yes, I was physically in shape, but I was also exhausted because sometimes I would be working shifts where they ended at midnight and then I would have work the next morning. Yeah, not cool. I will say one positive to valet driving, and no offense to anyone that valet drives, but I enjoyed the hotel that I worked at. I did it at Marriott, and that hotel's so beautiful. And the food there, we did get like a discount on food where we could get like a meal for $2. And this was at the time when I ate meat, but I would get like this grilled chicken, and I don't eat chicken anymore, by the way, and like grilled vegetables and rice. So good. For $2, you can't beat that. But they had other meals to go that had vegetarian sandwiches, that had like just a bunch of good food. I don't know. I can go on a tangent and talk about food all day. But I did enjoy valet driving because I was able to ride in different kinds of cars, drive different kinds of cars. I drove the Mercedes-Benz Fleet. I didn't think that I would be able to drive that because it's so large. But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed driving the G-Wagon. That probably was my favorite car that I ever drove. A lot of nice cars. Oh, and Teslas. I was so afraid to drive a Tesla. Like, I know Tesla is like this huge thing now, and I still want a Tesla. But I walked up to the Tesla, and I had the keys, and it was like this flat key. It looked like it looked like a plastic key card. It kind of looks like those old school keychains that are like flat and they have your name in it, and like sometimes you can shake it up and they have the glitter inside. That's what it looked like. So I walked up to the car and I'm like, how do I open the car? Because I couldn't find a keypad to open up the car. So I always feel like such a noob because my coworkers knew so much more about cars than I did. One of my other side hustles is market research. I love market research because I like to give my opinion on just about anything. Market research, I did it through Plaza Research Marketing, and you can sign up on their website and you can be a part of their list, their mailing list. And I think there's a Plaza Research in basically every major city in the United States. And they pay you to give your opinion. So you may go there for 1 or 2 hours and get paid $125. I have done different studies. I've done one market research was about healthcare. I did one that was about a textbook company and trying to find the best textbook for teachers. It was with other teachers. I did one at a law firm. It was amazing because I am so obsessed with anything related to forensics. So that one was pretty dope. Last but not least, my current side hustle that I still am holding on to, even though I am no longer in debt, besides my house, I'm saving for my emergency fund. I work as a mental health professional. So I'm holding on to this side hustle because it is an independent contracting job. And I do like that you're able to set up your own hours. But I also have my master's and bachelor's in psychology. And I think that it's a great way for me to work in the field without having to commit full-time or getting my PhD in psychology. So after watching this video, I hope that you see that you can work side hustles too to help accelerate your debt snowball. At one point, I was working 5 jobs, and that includes 5 of these jobs. I had 3 tutoring jobs, and my main job is as a teacher, and I was also doing food delivery, and then also Census Bureau, so maybe it was 6 jobs. I don't know, I lost track. But whenever you're paying off debt, and don't think that I worked these side hustles the whole time I was paying off debt. I went through phases because I personally don't think that I could do that. I could not have gone all those years straight with working a lot of jobs that, with a lot of hours, that require a lot of hours. Because I think you get burnt out, and that's where I was. Like, at one point I was doing teaching in food delivery, and then I would quit food delivery and then just teach. And then I picked up valet, and then I stopped doing valet. And then I would pick up another side hustle, and then at one point I was working 6 side hustles because of COVID, my schedule was much more flexible. So I was teaching from home since March of 2020 all the way to October 2020. So that really helped me to accelerate my debt snowball because I didn't have to worry about commuting. I didn't have to worry about being having to stay in one place for 8 hours. I did like working remotely because I could teach a class. And then I could go take a break and go running, and then I could teach another class. And then after I finished with work, I could just go do a side hustle. But I definitely encourage you to get a side hustle if you are trying to pay off debt, and even if you don't have a side hustle, if you're working a job where you can get extra hours, I would definitely recommend getting extra hours. So I hope that you find this video helpful, and it will help you on your debt-free journey, or just even your financial journey to help you to reach your goals sooner. Again, if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate that greatly.